54B system out here, and it's not running, but the thermostat's set on 72 degrees and it's 77 up there. So I'm suspecting probably a little bit of crud left over from the original system upstairs unit has caused the drain line to maybe clog. I don't know. I haven't been up there. There's another one brand new sitting right here for the downstairs. They're both in the attic because this is a slab 2-story house. That one's running and cooling just fine. 72 degrees downstairs. So we just put these in recently. What's the date on this one? 2025, obviously. So let's open her up and see why it's not running. See if we're getting voltage out here. I'm hoping it's not a leak and we're out on a pressure switch or something. That would kind of suck. But anyway, we'll find out. And this is a straight AC, not a heat pump. And I don't have my drill. That's my little grab and go box. And if you're wondering why I keep a key box inside this little bag, my little grab and go box, it's where my screws and wire nuts and the Jimmy Wiggler back there. Anyway, put those in there. Stick it right in there. And that's just that Klein box that you can get at Home Depot. Just for a kind of a quick check. Door. I don't see. I got oil all over my hand right there. All over the place. Alright, so let's get the door off of it and see what we're having. I hope we're not going to be out on a pressure switch because the charge or something just dumped out of this thing. It said it worked fine, and yesterday it did this, then it cooled fine, and then these doors on these things are a pain in the ass. Excuse me. Pain in the ass to get off. So this is going to be our multi-stage system. So if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be our 17 seer. Yeah, so this is going to be the 5-stage unit. So got a F1 fault right there, fault 1. So let's see what we got. I want to confirm that I'm getting a call to the unit though from the thermostat. This is, oh, and let me give you a word of advice on this unit. It does have, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to have all our thermostat wires coming out here. For whatever reason, if you do not connect R or 24 volts to these units, the outdoor fan will not run. And I'll show you that here in a minute if I can get this screw out. I'm so spoiled using my drill. I'm tired of using a nut driver. Just doing it the Ted Cook way. So I don't know if that's what we got going on here or not. So let's see. So we've just got R there, which will do the same thing as long as R, if 24 volts is, you can wire everything else out together up here, but if you don't connect 24 volts to your red wire coming outside of the outdoor unit, supply 24 volts basically to this thing, the condenser fan will not run. The compressor will come on and run, it'll go out on high head pressure, but the fan won't run. So we found that out on the very first one of these we installed. We thought there was something wrong with the fan and dug into it a little more and found out that, well, this is just, we're using Y here because it's a straight AC. We're just bringing common out. And then your stage 2, so you're gonna have stage 1, which is gonna run, I think, 1, 2, and 3. Speed 1, 2, and 3 on the compressor, and then stage 2 is 4 and 5, or it might be 1 and 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. But if you do not supply 24 volts to this red wire in this outdoor unit on these 17 SEER 5-stage units, the condenser fan motor will not run. So I thought that was kind of quirky. Don't make any sense, but what does make sense these days? So let me check to see if I am getting a call for why out here. That could be oil left over from the install, I don't know. We pressure test all these systems when we put them in. Maybe that might be from the gauges or something like that. I don't know. Maybe getting ahead of myself, but we do pressure test these systems and let them sit before we ever pull the vacuum and release the charge and all that. So doesn't mean it can't happen, but we check it. All right, so let's see if I'm getting 24 volts here. I am getting 27 volts. So whether you can see that or not on the meter, 27 volts. So it's not going to be a float switch or a drain line problem. So let's look up the F1 fault and see what that tells us. So based on our book here, our first digit, which is an F, is obviously indicates fault right there, and then our second digit is a 1, which we go over here to second digit, MOC fault. So you got your drive and your MOC. Here we go, and here we are. Let me see, I'm not sure what those mean. LEDs, green, constant on, red, consistent on when alarm active, and then our yellow, our amber, compressor output something or another, I don't know. Here it is. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna cycle the power to it. Let me get this thing opened up. Cycle the power to it, and then I want to disconnect the 24 volts. See if I can get this thing to reset. Don't know if it will or not, we'll find out. So I'm guessing it has to discharge, kind of like the XV system. I'm not quite sure. So we got that. Okay, there we go. Yeah, just have to give this thing time to discharge, because this is DC controlled too, if I'm not mistaken. The motor, it's similar to the XV unit, but not exactly the same. So let's see if we still have 24 volts here, which we do. I'm going to reconnect my R, and I'm going to turn the power back on. I'm going to go get some gauges real quick and hook up to it. So got some gauges hooked up to it, and for those of you that like to ride around with your gauges still under pressure, I guess you're going to start carrying a separate set just for your 454B systems. Make sure your hoses are clear and you don't have refrigerant from another system in them before you hook up to one of these things. Anyway, so, and we're learning on this together. The only other time I've worked on one of these is that day that the fan motor wouldn't come in on the first one, and that's when I found out that you have to energize this red wire for whatever reason for the fan motor to run. If the fan motor doesn't run, this thing will come on and it will actually run until it goes out on high head pressure, but it won't tell you or give you any kind of fault. Oh, my fan motor is not running. No kind of current, whatever, how it detects that in the XV system. The XV system will, but this one won't. So it'll just run till it trips head pressure. So remember, on these 5-stage 70s here Tranes, you have to have 24 volts on that red wire for the fan to run. Anyway, we've got a standing pressure on this thing, and let me switch this over to my 454B, which is buried way down here somewhere. Oh, good Lord. There we go. So now we're sitting on the right refrigerant pressure, so gotta make sure you remember to do that too. Let's turn it on and let this thing boot up. We could have a problem with that board there. I mean, that's kind of what the fault said. So I don't know, now we're on 0, so yeah, it goes right into F1. Straight into that fault. So let's turn it back off. And we're gonna unplug some things. Wait for it to discharge. Just unplug and plug some things back up and unplug them, plug them in. Maybe we got a bad connection somewhere. I don't know. I do 400 volts DC. So this thing can put a hurting on you if you don't wait for it to discharge before you do anything. Alright, so this is the MOC, the kind of the drive. That's the AOC. So we'll power it back up. I want to look to see if I'm getting my 1 point. So the fault is basically just saying MOC fault. It doesn't tell you what could be wrong with it. So I unplugged the data wires here and reconnected, make sure everything was tight. The fault indication is there's something in here. So the first thing I want to do is check in here and see if I'm getting my 13.8 volts DC, and then there's some steps and procedures that the book gives you to kind of go through. So we're going to start with that. It's the only thing I know of. Otherwise, I'm just going to order a damn drive for it and be done. I don't know that you have to get the ortho on these like you do on the XV systems, the pre-ortho from tech support. I don't know. Yep, so it's going right back to that F1 fault. And I'm getting the 13.8 volts DC there. So then you gotta go over here. So when you're verify 13 volts, yes, okay, unplug each sensor, the LSOV from the AOC, and recheck the lights. So basically it's telling me to unplug things, I guess, just to see what happens on it. Still have the fault. Guys, I don't know how much longer. So unplug each sensor for the LSO switchover valve. We don't have one because it's a straight AC. Recheck lights. So that solid green light is just a status light, normal operation, constant on. Red light, constant on when alarm is active. And that yellow light flickering is just saying that we're transferring data to the AOC. So this means when it's flickering, they're talking to each other. I have no clue. Now it says FA, FD, So it's probably indicating now that I've got these unplugged. So let's go to our list of problems. We'll see what each one of those are. FA, outdoor ambient sensor, I've got it unplugged. FD is discharge temperature sensor, it's unplugged. And then F1, back to our MOC fault, which is this thing. Plug those back up. And those faults will go away. And this is the one where these things talk to each other. Unplugged that. Light went blank. So we dropped the voltage to it. Plug it back in. It's basically going back through BT. Let's see what BT means. It does that each time I turn it on. So it goes to a BT. There's my chart at. Bam. Come on. And the dog's out here, so BT is... Well, it doesn't tell me what that is. It doesn't tell me what 00 is. But we're back to our fault. This is absolutely unnecessary, guys. This is just my opinion. Heating and air conditioning does not have to be this complicated. This is just absurd. This is just fucking ridiculous, if you want my honest opinion. There's no need for this crap. Next thing I'm going to try, I've got this thing off, is I have all my low voltage disconnected. I just want to make sure this time when I power it back on, I don't have a call, nothing's connected, it's not being asked to do anything. Y is disconnected, R is disconnected, and that really only comes into play for that damn fan motor to work for whatever reason. So I've disconnected my Y2 for my stages 4 and 5, disconnected the call. So it's not being asked to do anything. So now I'm going to turn it back on and see if it gives us that fault. And that's not on the list, so I don't know what BT means or 00. But let's see if it goes to that F1 fault when it's not being asked to come on or do anything. Just sit here. Yep, goes straight into that fault. So I mean, tech support's not available. Unfortunately, they go home and drink beer at 5:01 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday. So at least the ones where I'm at anyway, they're not available after 5 o'clock. So I'm gonna take a guess that's what it is. If I have to come back out here and call them, I'm just not sure if we have to get this, have a pre-authorization for the warranty deal or not. I don't know. I know on the XV you do, but the fact that it's going immediately into that fault and it's not even being asked to do anything, I don't know, guys. This is just, that's my best guess. The book doesn't give you a whole lot of information. Tech support's not available. These things haven't been out long enough to really be working on them or getting a lot of experience with them yet. This is one of those experience building situations. But I've got to say it's going to be our MOC control, not the AOC, because the AOC responds when I'm disconnecting sensors and giving me the faults for that. I'm getting my 13.8 volts like I'm supposed to, so it's got to be something inside of this thing. The heating and air conditioning doesn't have to be this complicated, guys. You don't need all this crap to heat and cool somebody's house. I don't know what these manufacturers are trying to accomplish. It's, you know, I mean, I understand efficiency, I get all that, but Jesus Christ, you know, this is fucking ridiculous, the direction this stuff's going. And I don't know, guys. It's all you can do is laugh and take it and deal with it. But that's just my opinion. Honestly, I'm just speaking the truth. I am glad I am in my 50s and closer to the end of my time than just getting started in this, because 10 years from now, this is gonna be ancient in 10 years. But it is what it is, guys. Anyway, appreciate you watching. I'll give you an update on what happened with this, what fixed it. Probably may come back out here and call tech support, but I think that's gonna be our problem. Appreciate you watching, guys. Damn.